6, 2025 City Council meeting. From looking out in the crowd, this would probably be a good time to go rob a bank. Just kidding, just kidding. We'll begin with the invocation from Councilman Haney, followed by the pledge. If you'll please stand.
Lord, we gather here in your presence this morning to worship you above all things. Thank you for the blessings you have placed in our life and for our great city. Lord, we are honored with the service members here today that have dedicated their careers to this city. Bless them and their families, and thank you for their service. Continue to watch over us and allow us to do your will. And it's your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll begin with the minutes from January the 8th, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Wynn, second by McKellar. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're coming down for some awards. All right, wait, is this working? Yeah. Okay, I'll talk loud. We've got the service awards. Before I announce these names, I want to go ahead and say something, because they may be scattered once I say their names. But these folks that I'm going to call up represent 235 years of service. And it's my bad, pardon, and it's really exciting to me to think about 225 years of service. There's people 20 years to 30 years that they work for the city. Now, just because you've been here 20 years or 30 years doesn't mean you can retire and go to work for Tyler or ISD or anywhere else. And our goal to give you, to keep you safe so you can keep us safe. And so it's important to us. We want you to stay, and we appreciate your longevity and being a mentor for all of our young people. So here we go. First, we got Patrick Mayo, Fire Senior Captain, Fire, 20 years. Christopher Potts, fire driver, engineer, fire department, 20 years of service. I don't see him, so I'll keep his check. All right, Michael, how do I say the last name?
Well, full.
Well,
It's full.
fire driver, fire department, 25 years of service.
We'll get that in.
Then we have Aaron Lowry, fire senior captain, fire department, 25 years of service. He's not here, but thank you for applauding. J. Craig Williams, police officer, police department, 25 years of service. Next, we've got Clint Gardner, police officer. Clint started when he was 15. And the next one is a gentleman that the council meetings just about every time and keeps us safe. Mr. James McGraw, police officer. Years of service. Next, we have Mike Saxon, police sergeant, police department, 30 years old service. And next, we've got a gentleman that used to work at Southside and was taken slavery and no longer works there. So when I talk about robbing a bank, that's the one you need to go rob. But Brad was at Southside every day, every time I was in there, and we got Brad. So Brad, appreciate you. Brad Langford, police officer, police department, 30 years of service. I've already made my comments, but once again, thank you all for your service. We do appreciate you very, very much.
See, now we gotta wait for crowd left.
All right. Moving to zoning, Z1, Kyle.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. The first item is a zone change request from agricultural district to C2, which is a general commercial district. This is to allow for the property to be used for retail, but also their intended use, which is for a dog daycare or animal services. Like I said, it's currently zoned for agricultural use. Surrounding properties, large surrounding property that's currently undeveloped, but there is commercial activity along West Grande Boulevard. And so this is consistent with that. This would amend the future land use guide to be general commercial. A lot of those properties along the loop, or along Grande, that are currently commercial should also match that designation as well. So you see here, there is a structure on the property. It's been used for animal kennel services in the past. So they're doing this to turn it into a commercial activity or to allow for additional activities. On the notices that were sent out, none were returned in favor or in opposition to the request, and the Planning Commission recommends approval.
All right, any questions for Kyle? Applicant's here, if anybody wants to talk to the applicant. All right. I entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Hawkins, seconded by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with your project. All right, C2.
Next request is for a thoroughfare closure of a portion of McGee's Avenue. As you see there in the green, it's currently undeveloped right of way for that street that was never built. You can see a little bit better here. And so the applicant plans to, they own both sides of the right of way, both properties, or all the properties there, and they plan to incorporate this area into the other lots to build homes in that area. And so they are asking to abandon this portion of McGee's Avenue, again, never constructed. And so on the notices that were sent, there was nothing returned in favor or in opposition. The Planning Commission recommends approval of this thoroughfare closure, subject to it being replatted into the adjacent properties within 6 months.
All right, any questions for Kyle?
I have one. Kyle, was there ever any plans to redo that area? Improve it?
No,
No, never. Okay.
not I'm aware of.
And no opposition?
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So moved.
Second.
You got a motion by McKellar, second by Wynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kyle. R1, Kate, Joe.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. I'm here today to introduce Joe Freeland, but this is an interlocal agreement between the City of Tyler and East Texas Mud, and it's a resolution to support that. I have Joe Freeland, which many of you have met. He's with Matthews and Freeland. He's our water legal counsel. He's been working with us for over 20 years. So he's here to give you some background on this and answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Kate. Morning, Mayor, Council. So a little background on this. East Texas Mud, if you're not aware, is it's up on the highway heading up to the interstate. They were once a water control and improvement district. They changed to a municipal utility district form about 15, 20 years ago. A couple years ago, they came to the city. They needed consent to some annexations that they had purportedly made heading south into town. The problem was they had failed to get the city's consent for those annexations into their territory. We went out and looked at it, and then we discovered that they were providing water service to a number of subdivisions outside of their district boundaries and outside of their, what the state calls a certificate of convenience and necessity, a CCN. And the CCN is what defines where a utility can provide service. So they were providing outside of where their CCN allowed them to provide and inside of the city's CCN. So they were unlawfully providing water utility service within the city's CCN. And if you look at the map that was attached to the agreement, if you see the more subdivided looking areas in the pink areas, those are areas where East Texas Mud was providing service in Tyler's service area. So they came in and asked the city in a hurry to consent to the annexations because they needed that done for a while. So we went back with them trying to work out issues with regard to water service. And almost 2 years later, it's 18, 20 months later now, we finally got them to come to an agreement on a number of things. And that's what's before you today, the resolution and the interlocal agreement. The first thing the agreement attempts to address is who will legally provide water service in this area. So the area up there that has the hash on it, it's called the duly certificated area. It's an area where Tyler's already authorized to serve, and they are already authorized to serve. The area where it says Tyler and the city limits, that's the UT Health, the hospital up there. And that area was annexed into the city about 15 years ago, Ed?
Yes, for the hospital, and then we annexed probably the site where the Amazon facility is going on to adjacent to that. probably about 8 years ago. 7
Okay,
or so.
and then the pink area includes both areas where East Texas Mud is providing service and a little bit of buffer zone where there might be people who would request service up there. This all is too far away for Tyler to extend water service to immediately. So the agreement then addresses who will provide service where. In the pink area now, Tyler will allow East Texas Mud to provide service on the condition that they annex that property into the city. Any area that they're going to provide service, they have to get annexed. And annexation by a district inside the ETJ requires the city's consent. So the way we'll sort of know what they're doing up there is because they'll come to the city for consent to those annexations. So the first part of the agreement addresses that. The second part of the agreement sets out a little process by which East Texas Mud will come forward and seek the city's consent to both the annexations that they have done in the past, with one exception, and then a process for getting annexation consents going forward. And the one exception is there's a little tract that they annexed, which doesn't show up on this map, which is almost it's just on the edge, the northeast edge of the city. It's a tract of property that they purportedly annexed some time ago. They've never extended service there, and so the agreement on that is that they will get that area out of the district so it doesn't become an impediment to the city's annexation if it occurs in that direction. So that's essentially what this agreement does, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So when you say that they annex it, are they annexing it, or is it just being annexed into the city? And when it's subdivided, how is it annexed into the city?
And so it's the district annexing. So the district has a defined boundary, and under the local government code, they can add territory to their district boundaries through a process which is also called annexation.
So it really has nothing to do with being annexed into the city?
It has nothing to do with being annexed into the city, except for that little tract that I talked about that we're not going to agree to. The city's not going to agree to consent to to annexation into the district, and that's because if the city annexes territory that's inside the district, the city then is obligated to annex the entire district boundary. And so, the history with East Texas Mud and the city is we played a dance with them at one point in time over whether they would be in Tyler's ETJ or outside of Tyler's ETJ. They went through a period of time where we bounced back and forth. It was in Tyler's ETJ. They would take it out of the ETJ. We add it back to the ETJ, and that was in 2012, and we came to an agreement with them at that point, which stopped that happening. That may be more than you wanted, Mayor, but
That was good. Any other questions for David or Joe?
Joe, when I read the agreement, there was some reference to the PUC and their approval. What happens if the PUC does not grant its approval? Do y'all have to go back and redo the agreement, or do they set the terms of the agreement?
if the PUC doesn't approve the agreement, it's still Tyler's CCN, and they will not be lawfully allowed to serve in that area. What we would do about that, I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, that was, my question is similar to his, that, seems like we would need the annexation prior to going into an agreement with them.
I'm sorry?
I said my question is similar to Stewart's, is that we would, seems like we would annex before going into an agreement with them.
Well, this won't be the city annexing, this is just the district annexing, and
Yeah,
The-
and I think that's, the terminology is kind of maybe what's thrown for a loop. So when we talk about annexation as amongst the city, you're talking about, you're bringing in property that then you'll be allocating, or having property taxes on.
Right.
This is relationship to CCN, or what is your boundaries that you have in relationship to the service areas that you provide for water or wastewater service, and those are different. There's annexation terms in relationship to that. Also, the MUD, the East Texas Municipal Utility District is a MUD, and they can, there are different governmental powers that they have that that go along with their annexation as well into territory. Into that one, it's a little bit more, but more service related. That's kind of is in relationship to that. I don't know, Joe, kind of how better to kind of explain.
well, yeah,
some of the differentials on this.
they have a defined set of powers, but they also have the power to to tax. They have ad valorem taxing powers. And in fact, they do collect ad valorem taxes in every area that they have annexed into the district.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I got one. So in the duly certificated area, what does that mean to a property owner there? That they could get water from either?
And the agreement has those timelines. It sets out different times. So before 2040, the property owner will really have to go to East Texas Mud for water utility service unless they had a tract that was 25 acres or more. It's not really set out in there, but they could come out of this CCN and get service from Tyler
Okay.
if it was 25 acres or more. After 2040, they would have the choice of going either to Tyler, assuming that Tyler was extended out that far so that it could provide service at a reasonable cost, or to East Texas Mud.
Part of this conversation came about because of issues over at UT Health Northeast and their wastewater service and just capacity concerns that they had in relation, because East Texas Mud is their provider. And so as we investigated that kind of at the same time we were looking at some of these other issues, the cost of running the wastewater line out there was prohibitive at this immediate time or kind of within the next probably 10 years. But we also want to make sure that future councils have that right to look at that project and to service those areas, especially those in the city limits, at some future time. And that's where, it may not be the next 10 years, but you go out the next, 20 years or so, possibly that project does start to make sense, especially in relationship to kind of how far you've gotten with John Souls Food and the extension of the water line, the wastewater lines that already run in that area. There might be some opportunities that come up in the future, which we want to be able to reserve that right for.
So East Texas Mud is providing water and sewer both?
They do, yes.
Yeah. And the sewer is the part that kind of has been brought forward to us for questions about. But yes, they also provide water.
But Tyler's sewer CCN doesn't extend up that far.
Any other questions?
Move to approve R1.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Joe. Cassandra?
Good morning, Mayor and Council.
Good morning.
I come today, the Texas Election Code allows for the cancellation of an election under certain circumstances and declare each unopposed candidate elected to office. The current City Council election for Tyler City Council District 5 meets the criteria for cancellation since the respective candidate whose name is to appear on the ballot is unopposed and no proposition is to appear on the ballot. So at this time, in accordance with the provision of the law, I have prepared a certificate of unopposed status, a copy which was in your packet this morning. So I will read into the records certification of unopposed status. I, Cassandra Brader, City Clerk of the City of Tyler, Texas, hereby certify that when the deadline of 5 p.m. February 14, 2025 passed, only the following unopposed candidate had filed an application for a place on the ballot, and no one had filed a declaration of write-in candidacy for the Tyler City Council election scheduled to be held May 3, 2025. That candidate is City Council District 5, Lloyd Nichols. This unopposed status and the fact that no proposition is scheduled to appear on the ballot for District 5 will permit the Tyler City Council to take advantage of the Texas Election Code Section 2.051 through 053, which has allowed the City Council to cancel the election and declare the unopposed candidate elected to office. And keep in mind, the unopposed candidate will not be sworn in until after Election Day, the day in which the election would have taken place. And at that time, the governing body will issue a certificate of election to the unopposed candidate, and he will be sworn into office in the same manner provided for the candidate elected at the election. So at this time, I'm requesting that the City Council consider adopting an ordinance canceling the election for the Tyler City Council member for District 5 scheduled for May 3rd, 2025, and declare the unopposed candidate for the Tyler City Council member for District 5 elected to office.
All right, any questions for Cassandra? Should we vote on it or do we?
I'd like to make a motion. I hope there's a second. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, we got a motion by, is that legal for him to make a motion?
Yes.
It's in my district.
It's in your district.
We're transparent. We have a motion by Nichols, a second by Keller. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you, thank you, sir.
All right, M1, Nikki.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is Nikki Ingram, and I'm a project engineer for Tyler Water Utilities. I'm here today to present Agenda Item M1 for the Lake Palestine Water Treatment Plant VFD Replacement Project. Lake Palestine Water Treatment Plant has a capacity to treat 30 MGDs. Variable frequency drives, or VFDs, are electronic devices that control the speed of the pump motor by adjusting the frequency of the electrical power supplied to it, allowing for precise control of water flow based on demand. These VFDs control the amount of raw water being pumped from Lake Palestine to the Lake Palestine Water Treatment Plant and treated water from the Lake Palestine Water Treatment Plant out to the distribution system. There are 7 VFDs between both raw water pump station and the water treatment plant. All of the VFDs were installed at the same time the plant was built in 2001. These VFDs are critical to maintaining reliable operation of the treatment plant. Without the VFDs, the plant cannot function. One VFD at Lake Palestine has already failed in 2024, and we had to replace it under emergency circumstances. The remaining VFDs have reached the end of their useful life, which is only 10 to 15 years. So this project with HDR will include the design of the remaining 6 VFDs that serve the Lake Palestine Raw Water Pump Station and the Lake Palestine High Service Pump Station. HDR will also look into HVAC system upgrades. These units are they're large electrical units placed in a building, and so they do have the potential to overheat, so we want to make sure that the current HVAC systems that we have in there are adequately sized to prevent overheating. The contract will also include construction phase services, and the engineering cost is $240,000, and the opinion of probable construction cost is $4 million. So we plan to start design March of 2025 with HDR. They'll have a final design by May of 2025. The project bidding process will take place between June and July of 2025. And we hope to start construction in July of 2025, and the construction phase will take about a year and will be completed by August of 2026. So it is my recommendation that the City Council authorize the City Manager to execute a professional services contract in the amount of $240,000 with HDR Inc. for the Lake Palestine Water Treatment Plant Variable Frequency Drive Replacement Project, and adopt a resolution reserving the right to reimburse expenditures with proceeds of future debt.
Any questions for Nikki?
Is the design, when you talk about design, is VFD a custom product?
So
I mean, it's not pulling this out and put another one just like it is?
Yes, so
Okay.
yeah, they are customizable. So
Okay.
we want to make sure that everything is designed to meet our plant and raw water pump station needs.
Move to approve M1.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks,
Thank
Nikki.
you.
Kedrick.
All right, Mayor and Council, you have item M2 before you. This is our first quarterly report for the fiscal year, and I'll kind of hit some of the highlights on some of our major funds. These of course, are not all of our funds. These are just kind of about 70% of the appropriations that we have, and these are kind of the major funds that we report to you all each quarter. And also what I'll do in this presentation is just kind of touch on some of the highlights on some of the things that you all approved back during the budget process to kind of give you a status update of where we are on those particular projects. So we'll start with the general fund. The general fund, we're expecting it to be almost $623,000 greater than budget, which is due to sales tax. Currently, we're almost 10% year-to-date, up 10% year-to-date, and we're forecasting to be up 3% for the remaining months of the year. So if the trend continues, we may actually do better than that. So also, the expenditures, we're expecting them to be about $2.04 million less than budget. On our general fund, just some of the highlights we wanted to touch on. If you look at our public safety component, we have ordered the engine and ladder truck. We're expecting those to arrive in approximately 36 months. Our portable Class A burn building that you all approved back during budget, that should be on the next council meeting for you all to approve. If you'll remember back during the budget process, we talked about having to go out of town for training. So when we get that building, that'll prevent us from having to leave out of town for certain types of training. Also, the TIFMAS, or the Texas Interstate Fire Mutual Aid equipment, that has been acquired. For PD, we've got Axion replacement. That's our subscription service for body cams, tasers. We have completed that, $523,000. Also, the dual SIM cards that we talked about during budget as well. We are upgrading the units as they come in, so that's in progress. Also, the 2 officers that you all approved for the TER zone downtown, we have selected those 2 officers. They'll be paid out of our downtown TIF fund as well. The animal services, we have purchased the kennels for the animal services. Code enforcement, demolition of substandard structures, we budgeted about $200K. We've already demolished 5 properties for about $50,000, and there's 1 in progress that I think is going to cost us about $25,000. Also, general fund infrastructure, streets, and traffic operation. You all approved some personnel changes there as well that has worked out great for us. That's the feedback that I've gotten. We're able to be staffed up and are close to fully staffed, so that has helped out a lot. We've added 1 crew leader position. That's been filled. We converted 4 street labor positions to semi-skilled in order to get the pay up to attract candidates. 1 of the 4 positions has been filled. We converted vacant traffic position to administrative coordinator. That's filled. Increased traffic signal maintenance, that's ongoing as well. And also on the capital and improvement side, all of those are ongoing. Our Brick Street repairs, our crack seals, and public alleys. Next, we'll go to water utilities. We're expecting revenues to be about $2.7 million less than budget. However, it's early in the year. We'll see how the summer plays out as far as sales. Also, we're expecting expenditures to be about 2.2 less than budget. A lot of that is due to savings in chemicals and water distribution and waste collection side of the operation. Infrastructure on water utilities, these are some of the supplemental items that you all approved during budget. We're getting quotes on the trench box. The new track hoe should be on the agenda for purchase, and construction of canopy for material that they use for construction. We have not started on that yet. That's in the process. Also, we talked to you all about installing a fuel pump at the service center. Right now, that's on hold. We're continuing to evaluate that. Also, new sludge truck and trailer, which has been purchased. And one of the features I'm very proud of is the text messaging software feature that is implemented. Also, capital improvements, meter replacement program. We talked to you all about replacing about 11,000 of our meters. A little over 3,700 has been replaced year to date. So we are making some good progress on that. The water, taste, and odor pilot study is up and running. This is the actual study. Elevated storage tanks, they're in design. Wastewater treatment plant, phase 1 rehab is in design. Lift station upgrades and line relocations, multiple projects are in design and construction phase. Also, we'll just touch on stormwater. I know we don't have a separate financial statement for stormwater, but we'll just kind of touch on those. We also have, we converted a street operations manager position to administrative assistant to assist with stormwater issues. That position's been hired. Also, we created a stormwater compliance technician. I think an offer has been given out for that position. And then we converted labor positions to semi-skilled, which has been very successful in recruiting and retaining some of our guys there in that operation. Capital improvements there, all of the different, this is more of a maintenance side of stormwater. So all of these are ongoing culverts, channel improvements, known flooding areas, and miscellaneous projects. Solid waste, we're expecting revenues to be about $680,000 less than budget, and we're expecting expenditures to be about $871,000 under budget. Airport fund, we're expecting expenditure or revenues to be about $45,000 greater than budget, and we're expecting expenditures to be about $25,000 less than budget. Development services, we're expecting revenues to be about $800,000 greater than budget, and expenditures to be about $371,000 less than budget. Development services, we'll kind of touch on a few of the items you approved in budget there as well. The comprehensive plan with community survey is ongoing, underway, and we're identifying steering committees at this point in time. The historic survey, which is $75,000, we're waiting to hear back from the Texas Historical Commission on that grant. Also, we added a planning technician. That position has been hired as well. The HOT fund seems, let me knock on wood here, seems to be recovering. It's definitely doing better than we expected. We're expecting revenues to be about almost $360,000 greater than budget, and expenditures are $170,000 greater than budget. And that's due to a carryover invoice from the conference center and Mayfair construction that we didn't quite get in the budget. So the HOT fund is doing well, and we're happy to see that. We'll just touch on a little bit of the things that are funded indirectly from the HOT fund. We have the stamp. We talked, you all approved the stamped concrete bed borders back during the budget process. We have completed about 3,300 linear feet, which is about half of what, just shy of half of what we need to complete for the entire Rose Garden. Also, the horticulturalist that you all approved, we have actually hired that position as well. And then you'll see the picture on the left. We have started demolition of the cattle barns out at the old fairgrounds. We actually have completely demolished one barn, and we're about a third of the way on the second barn. And also, there was a small frame house back behind the Mayfair building. That building has been demolished as well. This is an in-house project that we're doing in order to save money. Everything seems to be going well at this point in time, and we actually are having collaboration amongst multiple departments on this project. So it's definitely been an exciting thing to be a part of. Also, Employee Benefits Fund, we'll move on to that next. We're expecting revenues to be about $71,000 greater than budget, and expenditures to be about $101,000 greater than budget. Funds operating pretty close to what we're expecting, so we're happy to see no surprises there at this point in the fiscal year. Okay, so supporting our people, compensation and benefits. We did phase 2 of the compensation plan, getting everybody to at least 90% of market. We also have implemented the 3% merit increase, and then there were no insurance premium increases. So at this point, as you can see, we're a quarter of the way through the year. This concludes my report. We just ask that you take action to approve this report, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those for you.
Any questions for Kedrick? Good report. Good report, well done.
Thank you.
Move to approve M2.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by McKellar. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Kedrick. All right. M3, drum roll. Deborah.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Today, we are requesting that the City Council consider approving the appointment of 2 alternate Tyler Municipal Court judges by our presiding judge, Judge Amy McCullough. And so, right now, I'll ask if the presiding judge, Judge McCullough, and the alternate, our current alternate judge, Judge James Hugler, approach the podium. Currently, the Tyler Municipal Court has 2 sitting judges. As we've said, Judge Amy McCullough is our presiding judge, and our current alternate judge is Judge James Hugler. It was determined that additional assistance was needed at the court to cover dockets in the event of illnesses or emergencies or any other event that would cause one of the sitting judges' absences. And so the city put out a request for qualification to assist in the search for the additional alternate municipal court judges. And we were very, very pleased with we got a good response for these positions. And the selection committee, which consisted of the 2 sitting municipal court judges and the city attorney at the time, and they have recommended 2 alternate judges to be appointed. And I'd like to provide you a little bit of information before we ask the council to approve these appointments about the 2 alternate judges. And so first I will ask Ms. Christina Ross to come up and approach also the podium. Christina Ross is an attorney at Beard and Harris, PLLC in Tyler, Texas, where her practice focuses on estate planning, probate, and sports agency and management. She has been licensed by the State Bar of Texas since 2011, with 14 years in the practice of law. Christina has received her bachelor's degree from Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. She earned her Juris Doctorate degree from St. Mary's School of Law in San Antonio, and she is a certified NFL contract advisor, making her one of the few, both male or female, NFL agents in East Texas. Aside from her daily practice in estate planning and probate law, Christina has a passion for educating the community and advising clients on wills, powers of attorneys, guardianships, and probates. She spends a lot of her weekends going from organizations and churches in order to help people understand probate. Christina is very active in her community, and she serves on the board of directors for the Tyler Metro Chamber of Commerce, Smith County Bar Association, Alzheimer's Alliance, Tyler Area Business Education Counselor, Tyler Main Street Board, SPOR Tyler, East Texas Estate Planning Council, and the National Association of Blacks in Criminal Justice. Now, if I can ask Mr. Tab Bell to approach. Tab Bell is a lifelong resident of Tyler. He began his practice in 1981 with over 40 years of practice in law. And we know Mr. Bell, he was a part of Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Cotlins, and Mott LLP, and he was a partner in that firm since 1995. And his firm and he as well has provided excellent service to both the city of Tyler and all of the local government entities in Smith, Texas for property tax collection. Mr. Bell received his bachelor's degree from Trinity University, and he received his Juris Doctorate degree from Texas Tech School of Law. He also has a long list of accolades, of which just a few I'm going to go over with you. He was Smith County Bar Association president from 2002 to 2003, and he's been with the Bar Association since 1981. He received the Smith County Bar Award of Excellence in May of 2018, and he also received the Tyler Independent School District Distinguished Alumni Award in 2019. He's been with the Tyler Independent School District Foundation, serving in many positions on the board of directors from 2002 to 2009, serving as president of the foundation from 2003 to 2006, and he's on the board of directors currently. Mr. Bell has been the inaugural honoree of the Tab and Bonnie Bell Impact Award in 2022. And these two candidates, as you can see, we could hardly but select them. And so what we are asking today is, with the approval of the city manager and the city council, that the presiding judge, Judge McCullough, appoint Attorney Christina Ross and Attorney Tab Bell as alternate judges of the City of Tyler Municipal Court. So first, I'd ask you for a motion for that, and then if we get those approvals, we'll go ahead with swearing them in and giving them the oath of office today.
All right.
So moved.
Before we vote, I'd like to add, I've worked with both of them personally, served alongside both of them personally on various boards and commissions, and they are both excellent candidates for these positions. So thank y'all for y'all's service to the community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So since you have involvement with the NFL, can you do anything about Jerry Jones? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a motion by McKellar, a second by Haney. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Good morning.
Now, we'll hand it over to Judge McCullough.
All right, I state your name,
I, Christina Ross,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of alternate judge of the municipal court of the city of Tyler
of alternate judge of the municipal court of the city of Tyler
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I state your name,
I, Tab Bell,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of alternate judge
of the office of alternate judge
of the municipal court of the city of Tyler
of the municipal court of the city of Tyler
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. Mr. Bell, Mr. Ross, thank you for your service. We appreciate you guys. And can y'all just hold tight just for a second? We're almost done. B1, Cassie, Cassandra, excuse me.
I'm not sure what I was thinking, put two items on the agenda. Okay. Today, at a city council meeting held January 8, 2025, the city council appointed several members to the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. And at that time, you did not appoint a chair. So at the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeal, they met and requested that the board members, that you appoint Max Slicker as the chair of the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. So at this time, I'm requesting that the city council consider appointing Max Slicker as the chair of the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
Any questions for Cassandra?
Move to approve B1. Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Nichols. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, down to the consent agenda. Need to make any, pull out anything or approve as written?
Move to approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Got a motion by Curtis, second by Nichols. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City manager's report.
Mayor and council, a few items of note. The Keaton Avenue Drainage Improvement Project is progressing despite rain and cold weather. The sanitary sewer work next to Wynwood Drive is complete, so channel work can commence upstream towards Keaton Avenue and Fry Avenue. Reynolds and Kay is working on the junction where the two channels from Shepherd Lane and Fry Avenue intersect so that multiple crews can work on the channels in order to minimize erosion and speed up productivity. Also on drainage, the pre-construction meeting for the West Mud Creek restoration next to Glenwood Church of Christ was held last week, and we plan to begin work on that during the first week of April to have better working conditions. Wet ground from rains from this time of year should dry out faster, which is pretty important since we're working on the creek itself. One of the things you may have seen on Saturday morning was a lot of our UT Tyler students about the community. I know just walking through Pollard Park, I saw some there working on cleaning up the park and planting trees. And so with that, we also had quite a few that came downtown. Main Street assisted in organizing and hosting projects for East Texas Big Event, which sent students out to serve Tyler in different areas. In downtown Tyler, students cleaned the Fair Plaza parking garage, downtown square, surrounding streets, and the railroad. Other projects included serving at the East Texas Brewing Company, the Foundry Coffee House, the Smith County Historical Society, the Tyler Public Library, Discovery Science Place, and Callan Photography. So we're proud to have our college students out and about as far as giving back to our great community. And finally, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. at the Rose Center complex, we will have the official designation of Tyler as a veteran-friendly community. This is something that has been worked on by our Councilman Nichols and also along with the Chamber Veterans Affairs community. And we're very proud to be able to get this designation to be able to once again show just as far as what we are doing to try to make sure that Tyler is a great place for veterans to come to and to live and to have their businesses.
All right. Any comments for the city manager before we go into executive session? All right, thank you. As allowed by the Texas Open Meetings Law, Chapter 551 of the Government Code, the city and council may go into executive session to consider the following. Under Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, personnel matters, deliberating regarding the following: the employment duties and evaluation of the city manager. Any final action to be taken by the city council will be taken in open session. So we're going to go recess, and we'll be back shortly. And y'all have a great day.
Before you, Mayor, before y'all actually went back there, did you want to take a picture of the judges? Is that what you're asking them to stay? Okay. He's got it.
That board you have to have certain professional, certain.
And Kedrick.
Oh, Benny, I need to see you.
Yeah, Kedrick's not done with his presentation. He was hoping he could come back.
All right, are we good? We good in the back? All right, we're back from executive session, and we do have an action item. Now, entertain a motion on that action item.
I move that the city manager's compensation be adjusted to provide $295,250,000 salary. This annual salary rate shall be effective from October 1st, 2024. And to make a one-time contribution of $31,000 plus any taxes that are accrued on said payment to the manager's deferred compensation plan on or about March 21st, 2025.
With breakfast tacos.
Continue.
Second.
So moved.
All right. We got a motion by Haney, a second by Curtis. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. City Manager.
Way to go, City.
Thank you for your great work, Mr.
Well,
City Manager.
I tell you this all the time, and I tell the community this all the time about just how special this council is, and it continues to be. I mean, it's not just because y'all did that, but it is.
Especially today.
This is, and y'all know this from when y'all go to TML or other conferences, when you talk about the camaraderie and the teamwork, and it starts at the top, and it does with the mayor and this council, of just the support that you show our staff, our community. It isn't matched elsewhere. And you hear these horror stories, and you know how special Tyler is. And thank y'all for making it that way.
Thank you.
That's why we need that team playing aspect on the mayoral, since he's leading it. That's so important. A good team player for mayor. That rhymes, team player for mayor.
All right, on that note, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, you're adjourned.